Hello, my pretties. Chandra here, and it is time for your Pisces February 2020 reading. I've already got your cards pulled. As you already know, we are using the Vice Versa Tarot, but I like holding the box up, so I'm going to do it anyway. All right, I've got your cards pulled. I will go ahead and say we do have Aquarius, the water bearer star card, showing up, Libra, Justice, and Capricorn, the devil, showing up here. So those may be people, they may be just like energies. We will see. I'll go ahead and get into your reading. We start off with the Six of Wands. Then we have a star card in reverse, Justice, the King of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, the Devil in reverse, the Queen of Pentacles, the Empress, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. So typically the Eight of Wands for me, the Six of Wands for me, I don't know why I said eight. The Six of Wands for me is winning the battle but losing the war. So there's the laurel there, but the sky is overcast and everyone's like, you can see that there's blood on their clothes and they're kind of beat up and it really sucked. So there's that kind of vibe, but we've also got this like turning your back on love in this situation, but to follow your guides and being balanced within oneself. We have the gold and silver pictures here, and it's really coming from a place of balance. This is also Aquarius energy. So this could be an Aquarius person that is influencing a situation. We then have Libra, but there's also Virgo symbol, the Virgo symbol written on the floor. And this is justice being blind. This is like whatever the situation may be, right? It seems like you've turned your back on a love and you're following your guides. You're at peace within yourself. Like, this is a confirmation that you are balanced within like your masculine and feminine, the yin, the yang. It like you're doing good within yourself. These may also be people showing up in your energy. We then have the King of Pentacles, and from this perspective, you can really see the abundance. Like, there's grapes, there's watermelon, there's like an ox over here. We've got this pentagram. So it's like all the elements coming together, which is great, but it's double great because we also have the Queen of Pentacles, right? And so they're both coming up in reverse. And I know the Queen of Pentacles came up a lot last month, and I was talking about how you can see the city that she's moving towards. So there's like this very fertile ground behind her, but there's also this broken pillar, right, where she has been through a lot, but she's like rebuilding now. And it's like, yeah, all that stuff happened, but like we're doing so good. So the energy there is super balanced. But before we get all the way around to that super balanced energy, we also have the Seven of Wands, where he's laying there, he's standing there, and all the weapons of his enemies are laid before him. And you can also see like their shields and everything from this perspective. So like this is like surrender here, but of an opponent. We also have Capricorn energy showing up here. There's three pentacles. Yeah. There's the one on the back of the King's chair. There's the one on the back of the altar for the Devil card. And there's the one on the back of the Queen of Pentacles chair. And this is... So the Devil energy, Capricorn energy, can be being a slave to a desire When I say desire, I use the word desire loosely. It's like this is something that you've committed yourself to and you're becoming a slave to it. And I also notice that is pinned between, so I'm not looking at the 7 of Wands right now because that is also in there, but this is kind of what it looks like. So even though we have this really abundant energy, it's like there's masculine and feminine here. We have our masculine and oops, I switched those around. Our masculine and feminine here, chained on either side of the block, right? So being careful, because Capricorn energy, like Capricorns are real serious about work, real serious about work. So it seems like you've gotten through this energy that we were dealing with last month. You've won the battle, but you're also pushing really hard into work. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't even say it's like necessarily a bad thing in this situation, because that's followed by the Empress, but you are pushing really hard into work. And here we have the Empress, so it's like showing there's a lot to be gained from this. And it almost seems like it's blessed. Like this is the direction that your guides are leading you in. Like, see, there's the star up here, and this is the star card showing up, right? So you are, even though you are really pushing into it, I mean, whenever you are pushing into work, it's important to have balance, but then we also have the justice being fine, the balance of the scales here, and this note of like, hey, you're really in balance, and you're working really hard. There is like a note of caution, but it ultimately is very productive work, which I really like this reading because first of all, we have 6, 7, 8. So it's like you are stepping on through, you are like on it. But then we have the 8 of Pentacles, right? And I like this card because you can see he's working very diligently, and he's got like, this is what is in his mind, right? But it's like you're working the steps on what you are manifesting. And from the other side, it's like got completion. So he's like at this part of the journey. It's still in the ether, as it were, but it's like you are doing all the right things. You have your ducks in a row. This is going great. And then at the end, we have the Knight of Swords. So it's like, this is a young energy. It's a way of thinking, but there's a lot of motion here. So this is a new project. This is a new process. This is something different that you haven't necessarily worked on as much before, but it's starting to pick up momentum. The momentum is there. Your head and your heart are in the right place. You are in alignment for this. I don't really want to clarify the 6 of Wands because I feel like it's the only thing in this reading that doesn't quite fit, but I'm going to clarify it anyway because it doesn't quite fit. Why are we having such a good time? But it's a note about winning the battle and losing the war. How does that fit? Let's clarify the 6 of Wands, please. The 6 of Wands. Let's get some clarity on winning the battle and losing the war. Clarity on winning the battle and losing the war. All right. So we have the Page of Pentacles. And he's got this cornucopia on the ground behind him. Oh. Also, this is the, oh. So this doesn't, I don't think this relates to this does not necessarily relate to last month's reading in the same way that I thought it did. It's more so like there's this rose down here, right? And it's like this journey that you are on isn't what you thought it was. You're turning your back on the rose, right? And then there's this cornucopia here. And it's like, no, like I did this thing. I fought through, kind of beat me up a bit. It wasn't what I thought it was. I've turned my back on it because I'm being guided in a different direction. And this is the thing you're turning your back on, the empty cornucopia, and this is the new direction. So this reading really is the new direction. And that's why the Six of Wands doesn't really seem to fit with this, because that is the situation that you are walking away from. Do we have any other messages? That makes sense. And I'm glad that we're not bringing any of last month's energy with us. I feel like that is a good clean slate. Let's see if we've got any additional messages. Oh. Okay. So we have the Five of Wands. And so there is a fight happening here still. And we also have the Four of Wands. That's what I get for talking about last month. This is Taurus on the ground. The ram's head. The bull. So it's a ram. It could be Aries or Taurus, but I immediately, when I saw the curl of the horns, it made me think Taurus. And there's still, well, that happened. There's still a little bit going on there. And this was in last month's reading too. This is still relating to a little bit residual of last month. So I would say definitely cleansing that. Like it is time for, it's definitely time for like the cleansing bath and like creating a division between that, because like you have a lot of good stuff to move towards. So it's a really good time to turn your back on that whole vibe. We don't need to get back into that. I think we've spent quite enough time there. Thank you so much for watching, Pisces. I hope this was very helpful for you, and we will see you next month.